Good evening, everyone. This is Amber Cote. I am the Director of Education and Service Enterprise for Colorado Nonprofit Association. I am also a graduate of the 2009 Signature Program at Leadership Pikes Peak, and I'm a very proud alum of this organization. I was asked by the LPP team to give an update as to what myself as an LPP alum is up to during this unprecedented time in our lives. So I'm going to give you an update first about what we are doing on behalf of the nonprofit sector in the state and locally, and then also a quick update on the census because I also sit on the local steering committee here and just wanted to let you know what's happening with that as well. So first, on a personal note, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the leaders in our community who have stepped up and either got out of the way and stayed home or are on the front lines making sure that we all are as safe as possible and getting the information we need, the resources we need, and keeping us as healthy as possible. Thank you to all of you who are out there doing the hard work, and sometimes that hard work is simply staying at home. Thank you. I've been inspired and persistently moved by this community every single day. I was born and raised in Colorado Springs, and I have only seen it get better, and even through this crisis, I've seen some pretty remarkable stepping up. So, to all of you who are doing it, thank you very much. So, on to Colorado Nonprofit Association and what's happening in the nonprofit sector. Colorado Nonprofit Association is a statewide membership organization that provides services to our nonprofit sector through education, public policy, resources, and connection. We also provide a voice for the nonprofit sector in various ways. Of course, public policy is a major one of those. I have the great privilege of overseeing our education outreach, and I'll be talking about that pretty purposefully, but we have some other things to address as well. Many of you know and have attended our annual Nonprofit Day conference that we actually had scheduled for March 20th this year. And as we were planning and getting super excited for bringing 500 people together to celebrate what we're all doing in the social sector, we started, of course, observing, like everyone else, that things were getting pretty scary in terms of numbers of cases of the coronavirus expanding throughout our country. So by March 11th, we made the hard decision to cancel our major event that was scheduled for the 20th, along with so many other nonprofits who actually were canceling major fundraising events, which ours was not. So as disappointing as it was to us, it didn't have the same impact that many nonprofits are feeling right now in terms of having to cancel some of their biggest annual events. It was crushing for us. And then 2 days later, we were all sent home to work from home. So we've been doing that since March 13th. Our communications department quickly mobilized resources and information on our website to provide to the nonprofit sector across the state of Colorado. We're very proud of that resource on our website, and I encourage anyone who is working for a nonprofit organization, volunteering, serving on a board, if you are affected by how the nonprofit sector is faring in this time, which pretty much everyone is in one way or another, I encourage you strongly to go to our website at coloradononprofits.org, and right at the homepage you'll be able to connect with our COVID-19 resources. We also have a Facebook COVID-19 Colorado Nonprofits page and a Colorado Nonprofits COVID-19 page on LinkedIn. So we are connecting with nonprofits all over on those social media platforms and encourage you to join those groups if you'd like the most up-to-date information related to how nonprofits are being impacted, how they're collaborating, and how funders are stepping up to help support our sector. So that was one of the first things that we did. Then we started putting together different areas of our work and moving it towards the focus of how we help our nonprofits now. So we have a public policy and advocacy arm of our work that is speaking on behalf of the sector, letting federal leaders, statewide leaders, and local leaders throughout the state know how valuable our sector is, how we need to maintain the jobs and the missions of these organizations, because nonprofits will be here. Once we move through the major crisis aspect of this, we'll need all of them. And of course, right now, during the crisis, there are many nonprofits that are working 24/7 to meet the needs of their communities, be it food banks, blood banks, and of course, organizations that are not directly supporting the COVID-19 efforts are going to be impacted. Our environmental arts, education, many different areas of the sector will be impacted, and we're going to need them when we all get out of our homes. So we're providing a voice to make sure that the value of what our sector brings to the communities in Colorado is heard and advocated for. We're also working through our leadership to talk to funders, and of course those are also legislators right now through government funding, federally, statewide, and locally, to make sure that we have the right information, that they are talking to one another, and that we can provide the most clear perspective for funders as they're trying to figure out how to best support nonprofit organizations right now. So much of that information is on our website. And if you work for a nonprofit or you're on the board, please feel free to look at those funding resources as well, because we're doing our very best to provide the most up-to-date information and also be a voice on behalf of all of your organizations to get the most support possible. So that's what we're doing in those realms. As it relates to the work that I lead at our organization, we've mobilized a community-powered response training series. And this essentially is to address all the different areas that organizations are trying to maneuver through. So we are providing sessions related to human resources, governance, fundraising, finance, communications, strategic planning, because that's still part of what's happening, and how we pivot strategically and how we continue to convey the impact that we're having. And then also potentially some really tough choices that we'll have to make in the future. We're also working with nonprofits around their IT and the change of so many people working from home. How does you maintain your culture and your values as people are separated while also meeting your mission? So all of those things are listed again on our website. They will have a designation on those training opportunities that say Community-Powered Response Training Series. And through at least the month of April, we're offering all of our educational opportunities and resources free to members and non-members at this time. We want to make sure that anyone in the nonprofit sector can get the information and resources that you need as quickly as possible, and by a trusted quality entity that is making sure we're connecting you with experts in the field who are really speaking to the most up-to-date information. So that's the Community-Powered Response Training Series. We will also be offering support groups, and those will be very informal gatherings on Zoom a couple times a week with our staff facilitating. They are certainly not therapy sessions, but they will be available opportunities for folks to come together and just talk about what's happening in your life, professionally, personally, just get some extra support, have others who are working in the sector, in different mission work, where you all can come together and just talk and maybe laugh, maybe cry, whatever you need. We'll be offering those. We're also offering some coaching sessions specifically for executive directors who are juggling many complicated responsibilities right now. And then separate coaching sessions for board members, who many are at home working closely with their executive directors and maybe not quite sure how to help and not hinder some of the work that needs to get done. This is a new, brave world for all of us, and we want to really make sure that board members get what they need to do a good job on behalf of their organizations, and they don't inadvertently create problems for the organization by getting in the weeds and being in places that board members don't belong. So please keep an eye out for those sessions that we'll be getting up on our website this week. They're not all there right now, but they will be this week. So yes, that series will run April. We're really focusing that on crisis management. All of those different sessions will really be about sort of everything that's changing every day and how do you make decisions in those different focus areas. And then in May, we'll try to start moving more towards how do we look towards the new normal, whatever that means, which we don't really know yet. But we will, of course, transition through this crisis time into a different time that is less crisis management and more transition. So we'll continue bringing that series, but really focus it on to the next transition. So those are some of the things we're doing. We're also offering all of the training that we offered before, that we had on the calendar before this pandemic really hit our country. We had a full schedule of professional development opportunities for nonprofit professionals, and we're continuing with those because we know many of you are at home and want to continue growing as in your role at your organization, and this is a great way to continue doing that, to connect with others around the state who may be serving in similar positions as you, and to maybe think about something different that isn't the crisis around us right now, or to get you out of what's happening in your home environment every day, just to give you a distraction and also grow yourself as a professional at the same time. So those will also be offered, and you can find those on our website under our training calendar. As it relates to the census, I just wanted to let you know the census is still happening. It got kicked off on April 1st, and of course that was happening right as this was ramping up, and we had more and more cases all over the country. So what the census is really pleading with people to do is to please fill out your census online. You should have all received your cards in the mail by now. It's a very simple, fast process, and it's confidential and easy. The census helps determine how billions of dollars in federal funding flow to states and communities. It determines how many seats in Congress each state gets, and it's mandated by the Constitution. So it is your legal obligation as well to fill out your census. But with everything going on, it's obviously not necessarily everyone's top priority right now. And it's still going on. So please do your part by filling it out online. They have postponed field operations until April 15th. However, if you haven't filled out your census, then they are going to start sending people door to door. And obviously that creates a hazard for everyone. So we're going to continue physically distancing for quite some time, I imagine. And the more we can protect those census workers by having already filled out our census, the better. So that's what I would urge you to do with this extra time at home and hopefully the internet, access to the internet. You can also do it on the phone. And finally, I was reading this quote by Rabbi Abraham Heschel that says, "To defy our own interests, though they seem to be vital, have long been cherished. We must be able to say no to ourselves in the name of a higher yes." And I know that so many of you are saying no to your own wants and desires right now so that you can do your part for the greater good. You're staying home. You've got kids at home who are bored and trying to figure out new routines. And many of you are on the front lines doing work to keep us safe and get us all back out in the world. And I want to thank you. I want to let you know that I am here to do my part and stay home as long as it takes to keep my friends and my family and my community safe. I have a lot of people in my life who are vulnerable, and I know that one of the greatest things I can do is be sitting here in my home office, doing my work to bring everything I've got to support nonprofit organizations and also stay out of the way for health workers, grocery store workers, restaurants, the people who are out there, police, fire, trying to take good care of us. It's our job to take good care of ourselves so they don't have to. So I thank you for what each and every one of you are doing. I have complete faith in this community that we will get through this together. We will look different on the other side of this, and there could be some really exciting opportunities that arise that we can't even imagine at this moment. If there's anything I can do for you as a neighbor or a friend, LPP alum, or through the Colorado Nonprofit Association, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here for you. I feel like you're here for me, and I'm so profoundly grateful for that. Thank you for your time. I hope to see you in person soon.